Today I'm gonna show you one more trick on how to turn clear resist into a colored one. But I will start with another trick, which was mentioned in passing in the previous video. See, there are dye residues on the frame that can stain the silk, as happened here. And I told you, but didn't show, that we can use masking tape to cover the frame and take the tape off each time with dye residue on it. For today's project I need to tape 3 sides of the frame, and for the 4th I will use suspension clothes, but you'll see for yourself in a couple of minutes. You need to glue the frame with masking tape if the silk is touching the frame. But here I will put the silk on the push pins directly on the frame. So there is a risk that the frame will be stained in the process of painting. But in this case, it's not the frame that will stain, but the tape that is glued on it. My way of silk stretching is that I fix the silk on the sides of the frame, then divide this section approximately in the middle, and then again in the middle, and this way the silk tension remains fairly even. And I'm more comfortable working with tight silk, so I put it tight enough. But I don't stick the push pins all the way into the frame, so that the silk doesn't touch it, even if the masking tape is glued on it. You see, this is the 4th side of the frame, and there is no tape on it. And for this side, I'm going to use suspension cloths, which I used to call rubber band hooks. But someone correct me in the comments section, so thank you. The size of my silk is smaller than the size of my stretcher, so these hooks are very helpful. Looks like it's pretty tight. The pattern for this flower I already have drawn, and traditionally I'll leave you the grid drawing. I put it on a board, and you can use magazines, books, so that the pattern is closer to the silk surface. And as you can see, it's now perfectly visible through the silk. And now begins what this video is all about. And let's say you have only a transparent resist and it doesn't suit you. Or you need a different color resist. And here's what we can do. We take an elastic brush with a thin tip and trace the entire drawing with a very thin line, literally the thickness of the resist. And at first my brush was very dry, so I wetted a little bit with water and tried again. And now the line is better, and you can change the color of the line. And change it again. And the advantage of this method is that you can change the color as often as you want, and you are absolutely not limited in your choice of color. And there are options here, and of course I'm talking about variations and options, as always. And the first is to match the color of the contour line to the color of the future painting. For example, if you are going to paint your flower with yellow, then the color of the line could be yellow too. And this way your image will be organic, and maybe this contour line would be not visible at all. And the second option is to make this contour line a decorative element and choose a color completely opposite to the color of the painting you have planned. What's also super convenient is that the dye dries quickly and there's no risk of smearing it. And I'm free to rest my hand on the line I just drew and paint on. I decided to add ultramarine. See, I rinsed the brush. dried it with a paper towel. Now I dipped the dry brush into the dye and rubbed it on the palette so that the dye soaked the brush evenly. And I get a nice even line. And if you are not yet skilled in controlling brush wetness, past video just showed a good practice. You may want to try it first. In general, I often talk about water control, and I'll leave links to those videos in the description. And I nearly forgot to say, there's also a video where I was showing other ways to turn transparent resist into a colored one. And you can find the link in the description too, or it will appear somewhere here. And so it turns out that one half of the flower is circled in light blue and the other half is brownish color. And where I would have shadows, I circle a second time, getting a darker color. And if you compare this and this color, you can see the apparent difference. There it is, the clear resist. I test it on the edge first to see how it flows. And then all I have to do is trace all the lines with the resist. I'm trying to get the lines exactly right. And look, we have a beautiful flower drawn with multicolor resist. At least it looks so, but let's wait for it to dry. For painting, I'll take another brush, a bigger one, and yellow, ultramarine and red dyes, and a paper towel, of course. And as always, I just wet the lightest areas with water, and I paint the flower looking at the reference. By the way, it's a variety of peonies, quite unusual. Normally peonies are very lush, and this one is modest. And I really like it when we went to the peony garden this summer, and I immediately thought that it would be useful to me in my work, so I took a picture of it. As always, I would like to say thank you very much to all of you who watch my videos, who leave comments and put likes. It's always great to get your feedback, so thank you again. And when the resist line and the primary contour don't match, there's a white line. I don't really like it, but it's almost inevitably going to happen. And as always, I switch between shades, study where the tone is darker and where it's lighter. I'm just looking at the reference and trying to replicate what I see. And if you set up the dark and light masses correctly, the image is quite convincing. Yeah, and in my photo the middle of the flower is bright yellow, but today I'm in such a lyrical mood that I would like to mute this bright yellow color. Somehow I think that my peony would look better with such a brownish middle. Uh, and since the reference has this red flag on it, let it be on my peony too. In the meantime, enjoy the final result. I wish you the best of luck with your silk painting, and I'll see you.